Only 4 more days until America votes. Folks in Cattaraugus County expected to exercise their right in record numbers. SBU's men's lacrosse team takes No Shave November to the next level. Halloween only 24 hours away. This haunted house located miles from St. Bonaventure. I talked with ghost hunters to see their perspective on the situation. All of this and more as Sbu-Tv starts right now.
Breaking news on the coronavirus pandemic. The United States exceeds record for confirmed COVID-19 cases in a single day since the beginning of the pandemic. Over 88,000 new cases reported yesterday. Active cases in Cattaraugus County reach an all-time high, and 5 new active cases on SBU's campus. Before you head out the door this morning, here are some numbers in your community. 107 active cases within the county. Deaths climbed to 18, and over 460 COVID-19 cases confirmed. Here on campus, 22 total confirmed cases since August, 17 recovered.
Hey folks, good morning. Welcome to Sbu-Tv. I'm Zachary Murphy.
And I'm Rich Williams. It's Halloween this weekend. Are you excited, Zach?
I am very excited. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays, so it's a good time of year.
Early voting began for the 2020 general election in Cattaraugus County last Saturday. I went to the polling locations to learn more.
Voters are able to cast their ballot at 2 locations, the Election Board office in Little Valley and at Cutco Theater at Jamestown Community College's Olean campus. I spoke with Republican Commissioner Courtney Spittler about early voting numbers in the county.
Significantly higher. 10 minutes ago, we were at a little over 1,700 total voters who have voted early here in Cattaraugus County. That's combined both sites.
As of Thursday night, however, total voting numbers have climbed to 4,362 across both locations. That is 9% of all registered voters, according to Commissioner Spittler. With 3 more days left of early voting, those numbers could climb even higher for the county. I'm outside the early voting location in Olean, where Cattaraugus County voters took advantage of the early voting process. I spoke to a few who cast their ballot to find out why they voted early.
Today, I was not busy at all, had nothing to do on election day. Who knows what could crop up? Not feeling well, whatever, so took the opportunity while I had it.
Well, as long as COVID is an issue, I probably will go out early because if you were limited to a single day, it would be, you could see where there would be a backlog.
Voting locations were COVID prepared, with cleaning supplies on stock and social distancing in place. Early voting in the county will be available to all registered voters through Sunday at both locations. With Sbu-Tv, I'm Rich Williams.
If you are unable to vote early, no worries. You can still vote on Election Day this Tuesday.
In the past, youth voting turnout has been very underwhelming. Sbu-Tv's Ryan Bowling tells us why this election might be different.
Historically, voting is not something young people participate in. Data shows us that people aged 18 to 24 consistently show up at the polls less than older age groups. But the 2020 general election is shaping out to be different. Young people are projected to make a big impact in this election, whether it be protests against social injustice.
I feel like the injustice in the country has encouraged young voters to go out and get their voice heard as well as try and make a change.
Or the increased knowledge about politics.
I'm super excited because I know the differences between policies, between each candidate. They're vastly different.
Young people on both sides of the voting spectrum are being driven to make their voices be heard.
6 million votes have already been casted by young voters aged 18 to 29 by ways of early voting and absentee ballots like this one. That number is already 3 times the number of the 2016 election, and it's only expected to grow.
That impact is especially being felt for swing states. Just to our south, Pennsylvania has experienced a young voter increase of 8 times that of the last election. On a college campus full of people who fit the young voter description, it was not difficult to find people to display their excitement.
Man, I can't say I've been more excited for anything else in my life, honestly. This is one of the most turbulent and exciting times that I've ever experienced.
I'm excited because this will be the first time I'm able to vote, and I'm excited to have my voice heard.
Tuesday's election is a school night, but that will not stop these excited voters from watching the results roll in all night long.
If I know, I'll be up as late as I have to see the numbers come in.
For Sbu-Tv, I'm Ryan Bowen.
If you have not returned your absentee ballot yet, they are still accepted as long as they are postmarked by the election date. Sbu-Tv is the place to be on election night. Our live coverage of the election 2020 begins at 10 p.m. on our Facebook and YouTube pages. In partnership with TAB Integrator Olean and the Jandoli Institute, we will bring you up-to-the-minute results and information from local and national races. Again, that's 10 o'clock on election night, streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Are you ready to get an extra hour of sleep? Get ready to set back those clocks an hour and bring the coats out. Jaron Holmes gives you a quick look on how to make sure you catch up on sleep this weekend.
End of daylight saving coming to you Sunday morning. Before you hit the hay Saturday night, be sure to wind the clocks back an hour. Daylight saving happens on 2 specific days each year at 2 a.m. On the second Sunday of March, daylight saving begins. You set your clocks an hour ahead, giving you extra sunlight throughout the warmer days. On the first Sunday of November, you set the clocks back, giving you less sunlight and more darkness in your day. But hey, at least you get that extra hour of sleep. Daylight savings has to do with the seasons. There's a silly rhyme for it. Fall back an hour. And spring forward an hour. That's all I never forget. I'm Jaron Holmes, reporting with Sbu-Tv.
The loss of an hour of daylight is a sign that we are entering the winter months, so bundle up and stay warm.
Lacrosse, mustaches, and a cause. St. Bonaventure men's lacrosse team takes their own spin on No Shave November. Michaela Hyman brings you the story.
When a lacrosse player from Hofstra died of cancer, that's when this whole foundation started, and it brought together the whole lacrosse community.
Nicholas Calalori lost his battle to cancer in 2006. Established a year later in his honor, the Headstrong Foundation began offering support to patients and their families affected by cancer. In 2009, the Lack Stash Madness fundraiser began in honor of Calalori's famous mustache. Lacrosse teams all around the country began collecting donations for Headstrong. For the second year in a row, St. Bonaventure's men's lacrosse team participates in Lack Stash Madness. Only 3 weeks into fundraising and the rest of November to go, this team behind me has already surpassed their goal of $15,000. This puts them #1 out of the 124 teams participating in Lack Stash Madness.
It doesn't really matter how big the school is, it's just what drives you to be the team that you are.
Defenseman number 30, Cameron Germain, and assistant coach Nico Caprone agree. Competition on and off the field, a fun and important aspect in these athletes' lives, especially when helping to battle a disease that kills over 500,000 people each year in the United States.
For a lacrosse team, we're out there to get wins and develop these young men into incredible adults for down the line, but I think it's also just to show that this, power of relationships and the ability to give back to others is something that we really hold near and dear to us.
For Sbu-Tv, I'm Michaela Hyman.
The grand total raised by the lacrosse team brought to you later on in November. Check out our social media accounts as each Friday we give you an update on money raised and the progression of the team's stash status.
Major scheduling news dropped this week for the St. Bonaventure men's basketball team. The Bonnies will be playing in a multi-team event at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut to open up the regular season. One of their opponents has been on the schedule each of the last 3 seasons. Louis Genovese will be in later on Sports to preview how many games the Bonnies will be playing at the Mohegan Sun and lay out the rest of this field. Look at your screen right now. You don't want to miss our social media handles. Follow us for updates on the elections, COVID, and more. Worried about Halloween and the pandemic? After the break, we show you how to stay safe and enjoy this spooky weekend.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine. And I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns, like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, you know, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero. Good job, kitty cat. When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
What's the best way to pick the right college? Use your head and make a practical choice based on cost and academics? Or follow your heart to a place that just feels right? At St. Bonaventure, you can do both. Here, you'll join a unique community that celebrates individuality, meet professors as passionate about people as they are about learning, and form lifelong connections without a lifetime of debt. Come see for yourself why St. Bonaventure isn't just a special place, it's a smart choice.
Do it for your roommates. Do it for your teachers. Do it for your crush. When it comes to wearing a mask, staying 6 feet apart, and avoiding large gatherings, do it for everyone in your life. Together, we can keep COVID-19 out of school.
Thank you for staying with us this morning. Now we're going to take you live in studio with Carolina Demboxy.
Thanks, Zach. Are you and your family wondering how to stay safe this Halloween? I talked to Olean Mayor William J. Alio to bring you some guidelines to stay safe.
I put together a lot of these guidelines using existing, programs and that were out there and recommendations.
Halloween might look a little different this year due to COVID-19, but officials want you to remember to follow the guidelines to keep you and your family safe. These guidelines include leaving your porch light on if you want visitors, avoiding large gatherings, wearing a mask with your costume, and carrying hand sanitizer with you. I spoke with local Olean residents about their plans for Halloween. Gerwitz says her son will still be trick-or-treating this year.
Especially with Halloween, people are in masks and gloves normally, and then I would have hand sanitizer with me, and I think we'll probably wipe down things when we get home.
Patricia Noller and her daughter have other plans.
We decided we were going to do a movie night, and then we're going to have popcorn, and I'm going to get her just a big bag of candy and say, there you go.
This is completely a choice. Most of the kids will be in costume. They're going to have masks on, and we just want them to take the precautions. The community has come together. There's a lot of things going on. And it's all, it's all about the children.
For Sbu-Tv, I'm Carolina Demboxy. For parents that are looking for alternatives to trick-or-treating, there will be a candy drop on South Street in Olean tomorrow from 4 to 6 p.m. Stay safe this Halloween. Back to you, Zach.
Thank you. Austin Channing Brown, author of this year's All Bonaventure Reads books, I'm Still Here, Black Dignity in a World Made for Whiteness, spoke to students on a Zoom call Tuesday night. Taking questions from both the audience and later from student media members, she discussed race, gender, and equality. Sbu-TV's Nick Gallion asked Brown after her address what she learned in writing her book.
I really had to trust my own voice and say, this is not acceptable, or we have to change this, or here is more of the look that I was going for, and I could not back down. I really had to fight for what I believed this book deserved.
The full keynote address with Brown will be made available in the coming days. We'll post a link to that on our social media as soon as it is available.
DoorDash, the food delivery service, is now available in our community. Our own Sean Maines talked with 2 DoorDash drivers to find out more.
DoorDash has finally arrived in the Olean Allegheny community this month with deliveries from 15 different restaurants. Delivery driver Patrick Enright has been through the process over 300 times.
Restaurant, you pick up the food, it's either paid for already or you use a card that DoorDash already gives to you, and you pick up the food and bring it to the customer.
Enright believes DoorDashing is the perfect job for college students.
A few hours a day and you get extra cash for the weekend or for just minor expenses you might have that you aren't expecting along the way.
Delivery driver Connor Mead enjoys working on his own time.
Choose my own schedule. Like if I get loaded up on homework one night, I won't work, but if I'm free, I can just go on the app and schedule right away in DoorDash.
Today, more than 100,000 Dashers delivered over 500 cities in the U.S. and Canada. But how will this delivery service impact our community?
You have a busy day, you gotta feed the kids, and you don't have time, you're busy with work and other stuff, and you don't have time to go pick up food or go out to eat. DoorDash, you can order it right to your house, and you can have just as many options as you would going out to eat.
I think it'll help some of the locals out, some of the locals that are looking for some extra money. I think they could benefit off of college students wanting food.
Enright described the feeling he receives after every delivery.
I feel good that I helped them out in that way, and I did something to make their day a little less stressful.
Reporting for Sbu-Tv, I'm Sean Maines.
After the break, hear from St. Bonaventure student-athlete who is using her connections in the game of basketball and her knowledge in the classroom to fulfill a dream she's had for the last 2 years. Sbu-Tv will be right back.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Because the fight isn't over yet.
You will see me choose to protect my community by wearing a face cover.
And even with my face covered,
you will see me.
As a son.
As a man with a never quit attitude.
As a fighter for change.
Join me in wearing a face cover.
To help stop the spread of the coronavirus.
Because this is one small act of kindness
that has the power to make a big difference.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother
and... I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
The census is when we count every person in each home in every neighborhood.
Do kids count?
We all count, especially kids and babies. Make your family count!
Count all the kids living in your home. Visit 2020census.com.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
I work out every day. COVID won't kill me.
I'm 24. COVID won't kill me.
I have antibodies. COVID won't kill me.
It's been a long week. COVID won't kill me.
I'm 25. COVID won't kill me.
I'm partying outside. COVID won't kill me.
I don't need to wear a mask around my friends. COVID won't kill me.
I'm 23. COVID won't kill me.
If I haven't gotten it yet, COVID won't kill me.
I'm young. COVID won't kill me.
Famous last words. Don't let them be yours. Be New York tough and smart. Socially distance. Mask up, America.
Well, around the country this week, Amy Coney Barrett sworn into the U.S. Supreme Court this Monday. A 52-48 decision, a slightly larger margin than President Trump's last appointee, Brett Kavanaugh. Monday will be Barrett's first Supreme Court session as an Associate Justice. Also, on your screen, staying on top of the presidential election for you, the fight to 270. The fight in key battleground states is getting tighter. A YouGov poll this week showing Trump and Biden virtually tied in Pennsylvania. A different YouGov poll shows Biden with a 2-point lead in Florida over Trump. Stay with us on our social media as we experience the next several days as everyone else does. We'll keep you informed in the future.
Take a look at this image. That's the Silverado wildfire in Southern California. Nearly 100,000 forced to evacuate the state this week as 42 different fires reported as of Tuesday. 2 fires in particular, the Silverado and Blue Ridge fires, have doubled in size since Tuesday. Both fires broke out Monday, just a few hours apart. 2 firefighters critically hurt battling the Silverado fire. The death toll across California attributed to the fires since August, now 32, including 4 firefighters, according to the Mercury News.
And Hurricane Zeta has weakened into a tropical storm, but its path has accounted for at least 6 deaths so far. The storm system swept through the south with sustained winds of around 70 miles per hour, making landfall in Louisiana Wednesday as a Category 2 storm. Heavy rains and strong winds are moving northeast. New Jersey has been especially hit hard. Some parts of the state see nearly 3 inches of rain. Damage-wise, more than 2 million people without power as of yesterday from the Gulf as the far northeast as the Carolinas. Now we send you to sports with Louie.
Thanks, Zach, and welcome everybody to Sbu-Tv Sports. Thanks for sticking around this Friday morning. I'm Louis Genovese. Well, the snow is flying and the off-season for St. Bonaventure's outdoor teams is winding down, which means the anticipation for the fast-approaching start to the college basketball season is ramping up. And this week brought some major scheduling news for Mark Schmidt's team. The Bonnies will open up the regular season in a multi-team event with 4 games at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, according to a tweet from CBS Sports insider John Rothstein. Familiar Foe, Vermont is confirmed to be in the pod of 5 teams along with St. Bonaventure, as well as Towson and Stephen F. Austin. The 5th team has yet to be decided, and the Bonnies are one of over 30 teams playing in various tournaments and pods at Mohegan Sun's bubble-like setting. Official dates and times have not been set for those games, and no official announcement has been made yet by the athletic department. No scheduling updates for the women's team yet, but while head coach Jesse Fleming's bunch await their first opponent, one of his players is staying just as busy off the court as she is on. Sbu-Tv Sports' Tommy Valentine met with the Stars sophomore guard, who is now leaving her imprint on the world of podcasting.
Olivia Brown is the definition of what it means to be a student athlete. Already equipped with connections as a Division I basketball player, Brown decided to put her skills as a journalism and mass communications major to the test, leading to a podcast that joins both her playing and academic career.
We're going to play 60 seconds with Obi.
I just want to tell the stories of women's basketball players. It doesn't matter which level, it can be high school, D3, D1, whatever. Everyone has their own individual story, and that's basically what I want to explore through this podcast. It's fun to help them out, and it's also helping me practice journalism.
Between hours of practice and her usual school workload, Brown manages to upload an episode of her Sister Hoop podcast to Spotify and Apple Podcasts once every 3 weeks. The name Sister Hoop highlights the emphasis Brown places on the importance of sisterhood and team chemistry in the game of basketball. Her head coach, Jesse Fleming, is pleased that the main focus of Brown's podcast is something that can not only translate to success on the hardwood, but success in life as well.
That's what we're really pushing for, is that they develop real relationships. They develop that sisterhood. Just like life, what's life without relationships? It's the same thing with basketball, just building real relationships. And I love that's her focus.
Brown has major aspirations for what she wants to get out of the podcast, but she's in it for much more than just personal gain.
Hopefully we can get to something big enough to where I actually have my stamp on women's basketball. That would be phenomenal. But I really just want it to be about the players and sharing their stories so that they have their own stamp on women's basketball in a way.
She may be just a rookie in the podcasting game, but similar to her play on the court last year, Olivia Brown is already looking and sounding.
Thanks again for listening, and as always, I'll see you in the gym.
Like a veteran. For Sbu-Tv Sports, I'm Tommy Valentine. New, now, next.
Moving on to another captain from the women's basketball team last year, Deja Logan, a recent graduate from St. Bonaventure University, is now a graduate's assistant at Kent State University. Like many graduating student athletes, Logan struggled to figure out the next chapter of her life after losing many opportunities because of the coronavirus pandemic.
It's really hard to just say that all you have is college athletics on your resume. Eventually, I got a text back from the associate head coach. They said they were interested, and that was another humbling experience.
Providing help both on and off the court, Logan finds herself using this time at Kent State to learn more about all the behind the scenes of coaching. Eventually, she hopes to apply this knowledge when she reaches her goal of becoming a head coach. Only thing that this week's Sbu-Tv Sports Trivia stays with the women's basketball team, our social media team took a deep dive into the Bonnies record book for this question. Let's take a look. Which St. Bonaventure women's basketball player holds the top 4 spots for the record of steals in a single season? Hillary Waltman was the answer to a tricky question that only yielded one correct response. courtesy of Thomas Foley from Somerset, Massachusetts. Congratulations, Thomas. Keep those responses coming in this week when Sbu-Tv Sports Trivia returns on Tuesday. That's all for this week in sports. Throwing it back to you, Zach and Rich.
Are you looking for a real scare? Coming up, I take a look at the haunted Hinsdale house. Stay tuned.
The census, a special time when we count every person in each home in every neighborhood.
Do kids count?
Of course, counting everyone in your home helps support your neighborhood by funding things like schools, hospitals, and buses. Complete the census by calling or going online, or return your form by mail.
It's easy, secure, and most important, it's totally private.
Make your family count!
This year, make sure every child counts. Visit 2020census.gov.
What's the best way to pick the right college? Use your head and make a practical choice based on cost and academics? Or follow your heart to a place that just feels right? At St. Bonaventure, you can do both. Here, you'll join a unique community that celebrates individuality, meet professors as passionate about people as they are about learning, and form lifelong connections without a lifetime of debt. Come see for yourself why St. Bonaventure isn't just a special place, it's a smart choice.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
A haunted house only miles away from St. Bonaventure. I bring you the story about the Hinsdale house. The Hinsdale house, sometimes called the most haunted house in New York, attracts those interested in the unknown from far and wide. Daniel Klass first became familiar with the house through his paranormal investigations. Following several ghostly encounters and a suspected encounter with a deceased resident of the house, Dan knew he had to buy the soon-to-be demolished property.
It solidified the fact that I wanted to try to save that location. So I started the process to see what I needed to do to try to save it from getting demolished.
This is the Hinsdale house, formerly known as the Dandy House. For over a century, this has been the site of local paranormal activity. See, as soon as you enter, you're even greeted by spirits. The house, the location of a failed exorcism in the 70s, continues to garner attention. Some people go to the house for the experience.
We were even kind of skeptics at first until we were there and actually experienced it ourselves.
Right, so it's really not our usual thing.
Others, like Haunt-Me, go to investigate the paranormal.
In paranormal circles, it's very well known as a hotspot for bizarre activity.
Hinsdale proved to be a different kind of haunt for the group.
Regardless of the amount of experiences that we all have in this field, we were all scared.
The investigative group used their tools and believed they got in contact with spirits in the house.
Saying things like they want energy or the house needs to feed, which isn't typical of a usual human-based haunting.
The Haunt Me team left the house believing human spirits were there.
But there is definitely something else in there that maybe has never been human, and I'm afraid to give that a label because I don't feel like it would be completely accurate.
For Sbu-Tv, I'm Zachary Murphy. Different shows have been based on the Hinsdale house. An upcoming documentary is set to reveal findings that have been made during the renovations to the property. Take out your phones right now. It's your last chance this morning to get our social media handles. Follow us to stay up to date on all new information, new, now, and next. Well, that's all we have today. Rich, take it away.
Have a great morning. Happy Halloween. I'm Rich Williams.
I'm Zachary Murphy.